Alrighty, so chat. If you haven't seen one of these before, these are my analysis vids. And what these are, in short, is I like to take a look at big tournaments that happened in the past, typically recently. I like to find one game in particular out of that tournament that I like the most, and I break it down play by play in a very detailed way that is easy enough to understand that newcomers can still get something from it, but with enough depth that even the professional players that are playing in this match here could look at this back and learn about some of the mistakes they made, or keep doing some of the successes that they did as well. And so what we're going to be looking at today, what we're going to be looking at right now, is the KPL that just happened yesterday. KPL obviously being the Krunker Pro League, the pro circuit that's happening out in the OCE region primarily. This tournament in particular happened in Singapore servers. And this is the finals. Not only is this the finals, this is the last match of the finals. Spoiler alert, this is the last match. I do not believe they go to a round 3 here. Or a match 3 here. In the finals here, to no one's surprise, is Vivid Obsidian. Vivid Obsidian has won the past 6 KPLs, and this is the 7th. So they have won every single one in a row without fail. Even they switch up their roster too. In this case, we have Irrational replacing Lazern. Vivid winning every single KPL here. They were a favorite to make it to the finals. Every single KPL though, the teams that have competed against them have been getting stronger and stronger, and it is giving Vivid a harder and harder time. And this match is no exception. And so if we look at our opponent, somewhat of a surprise, we actually have Ares on the other side of this flip here. For the past few KPLs in a row, it has been QuackPack that has sat on that side of the as the challengers against Vivid Obsidian. However, Team Lore, which was a sort of mix-up of the team members that were in QuackPack, I believe dropped to Ares in losers finals, in the losers bracket. Ares clutching it out, I believe, in 3 maps. And so Ares is getting here. Ares is a team consisted of Swexy, Rush, Clicks, and Safo, an incredibly strong Asia team. This is actually a matchup that I've witnessed multiple times before. Back when Vivid Obsidian was named Krunker Team, I've casted games between Vivid Obsidian and Ares a few months ago. One of the first tournaments I ever casted was, I think, the finals was between these two teams in particular. So these two teams do have a history of playing against each other. These are very, very high-performing teams. Vivid Obsidian being the best team in OCE. Ares being definitely, if not the best, at least one of the best teams in Asia. Definitely going to cut Vivid's work out for them. And it shows. We are already here on round 3 on Sandstorm. Absolutely squeaked out by Ares in the previous round. With an insane Sandstorm D-hole to win by, I think, around 400 points in round 2 of Sandstorm to bring this to a round 3 here. Very, very interesting. These teams are going to start off even. And normally I like to pick matches that have a little bit of a learning moment to them. We watched matches where I talked about how to play Sandstorm. We watched matches where we talked about the importance of pacing. I think this match is simply put Pog. I think this match is just cool. I thought this match was super hyped to watch, and if you were able to make it there, you would 100% agree. I believe even Kit Fox, one of the casters who casted this yesterday, tweeted about it, saying this was some of the most fun he had casting in a while. This match was insane. Azex, Llama, thank you for the follows. Gemini Smooches. So, to start us off, I always like to talk about something that I always like to say is, where is my volume here? How do I mute this? There it is. Okay. One of the things I like to say is that composition in competitive doesn't matter in ranked, really in general, until you get to that high diamond masters sort of level. However, I truly believe composition does play a part when it comes to this high level with these high level of teams. And so I always like to take a moment to talk about the team compositions.
Of the KPL.
I muted this, excuse me. I always like to take a moment to talk about the team compositions that these two teams are running. Here from Vivid Obsidian, we are going to be running the LMG, the FAMAS, the SMG, and the AK. And on the side of Ares, we are running the FAMAS, AK, LMG, SMG. So what we are seeing here for the first time in a while, and for the first time I can remember in KPL, we are at KPL finals. We're witnessing a mirror match here. Mirror matches in Krunker happen often. It happens a lot more in North America than it does in OCE in Asia, from my experience. However, mirror matches, the comps are exactly the same. They accomplish the exact same thing. You have that core of the AK and the SMG really bringing in a whole lot of consistent damage, doing a lot to put in chip damage for the burst gun that is Irrational to really do huge heavy bursts, right? So Irrational finding one burst is really good, but even if he's able to find a couple headshots and finding a couple bodies, allows enough damage to come across that the AKs and SMGs can pick up the rest. LMG's grounding this comp, staying a little bit tanky. You can also play your SMG in a bit of a tanky way, right? Abusing your wall jumps, going super fast, sliding off of walls, breaking your hitbox in the air by shifting. All those are things that make the SMG a little bit more tanky than it appears. This is a very, very well-rounded comp. This is, I believe, this is what I would say is your average comp to see out of OCE and Asia. NA is a little bit different. NA has a lot of semi-autos, a lot more semi-autos than the eastern half of the world does. And the typical NA comp is AK, SMG, semi-auto, and then fill in revolver for Moss for the last one. It's kind of flip a coin, it's up to you. However, in OC it's a little bit more varied. They play a few more guns that NA doesn't really. And so I like breaking it down because it's a sort of viewpoint that here us in the Americas don't really get to see too often. So to start us out right here, we're going to see a big 4-4 push from both teams, all collapsing right here on the first site of A. We're going to see this from Hop's perspective. He's going to get some early shots in on Rush. And with Vizsla's help, Hop and Vizsla are going to take out Rush Enable for the very first kill. Irrational is about to drop here, and so he's immediately going to get traded out by Swexy. We don't have a very great POV, but you can sort of see what's going on right here in the back. We're going to see Vizsla peeking around. Excuse me, not Vizsla. I believe that's going to be... Wingman is going to be peeking around from ramp here to start pinching off the last few members here of Ares. As you can see, both Swexy and Safo are sort of confined to this right half of the objective right now. And while they're both very preoccupied by fighting Vizsla, and Vizsla's probably going to drop here soon, all Vizsla really has to do in this situation is put in some damage, find some headshots. If he's able to find a kill, that's pretty sick. However, what they're really trying to accomplish here is Wingman pulling off this sort of pinch maneuver and finding eliminations based off that. They're able to find Vizsla pretty early. However, Wingman does get his ankles absolutely shattered into bones and dust. And Safo is able to find that elimination on the SMG. Ares takes the first real fight on the objective. However, his team is a little bit far away from him. They're trying to make it back. We can see that Clix is trying to hold it down in backyard right now, while I believe the last man remaining is going to be Swexy is sort of chilling over here by Sandstorm C. Really just watching tunnel. Clix is going to get pressured out incredibly quickly by this two-man push over here by Irrational and Vizsla. Is going to drop very quick. However, even though that death is unfortunate, it still adds value because he's able to relay to his team where this initial push at least is coming from, right? Two people are going to be pushing in from backyard, which allows Safo to take a very aggressive push outside backyard to help find some eliminations and take him out quickly. Rush cleans that one up, right? Which is a testament to the amount of value you can get even when dying in this game, right? As long as you're dying in smart locations and you're relaying your team good information, it allows your teammates to take very, very great pushes and take huge advantages off your own deaths as long as your deaths are adding value. It was a huge It was a huge value-added death is what I'm trying to say here. And that's a term you're going to hear me say a lot, right? I want to start differentiating the differences between, I think, a value-added death and a non-value-added death. And that one in particular added value to his team and allowed them to win that fight. Irrational and Vizsla are going to be pushing in from backyard here. They're both very, very low. Clix absolutely insane on the LMG, really making that 180 HP work for him. Fighting those eliminations. Irrational is able to find the very low health Swexy before he does drop, though, which is a very, very nice thing to do if you're Irrational here, especially as you're doing a very sort of disjointed push here as Vivid Obsidian, where the backyard pushers sort of got singled out early before your ramp pushers could get there. Irrational finding Swexy is pretty big because it allows that 2v4 to become a 2v3 instead. Wingman's able to take out Safo, and so they're pretty much even. However, Hop CX is incredibly low, and Rush is looking him down the fucking barrel right now. And Clicks is about to come in half health on the LMG to help sort of solidify this fight and flip it over still for Ares, right? The big thing I want to take away from this hold so far by Ares, Sandstorm A is by no means an easy point to hold. Sandstorm is pretty difficult. It's very hard to hold both sides as pushes from ramp and pushes from backyard are 180 degrees apart. You have to make full 180 degree flicks to try and defend from both of them. It allows attackers to have very, very nice pinch maneuvers. Hey, Clixie, thanks for the raid. It allows attackers to have very, very nice pushes, pinching off defenders, right? And so Ares being able to hold off Vivid Obsidian here for 36 seconds now is really a testament to how aggressive Ares is playing, right? We see them taking these ratting positions. We see them taking these TDM positions. And even though they're dying, they're still adding value because they're able to call out the pushes that are happening before they happen, right? The best thing that you can do when trying to defend A is try to find out how the attackers are going to be approaching you before they approach. Because if you let them proactively get on you and you have to react to them, you're going to lose that fight 9 times out of 10. Vizsla and Irrational spawn in. Hop and Wingman hot on their tails. They're going to go for another 2-2 push here. We're watching Clix' point of view now. Clix just holding it down. It's looking like Safo is trying to get behind Vivid Obsidian here by a ramp, putting in a very, very valuable bullets. Hop, CX, and Wingman really can't address this threat without completely ignoring the two members on point. And so Safo gets very, very free damage off of this. Allowing for maybe some significant damage, at least on Wingman. He doesn't hit as many shots as I think he would have liked to, but that is neither here nor there. Irrational with a very early kill on Swexy. In typical Irrational fashion, he doesn't miss. Rush and Safo each find their own single eliminations, right? That's that flank by Safo really coming in clutch right there, pushing in from ramp. Because as we can see, if we roll this tape back here a few seconds, as Hop, CX, and Wingman are going to be pushing in from ramp, notice where they are this entire time. Right here, this is Wingman, this is Hop CX, this is Wingman right here, up here in this top left corner in this mini map. Notice where they are this entire time. They're still stuck, at least Wingman is still stuck on this, Hop is still stuck on this corner this entire time. Absolutely stuck between the body of Clix and the bullets of Safo, which allows that elimination to come very, very swiftly after. Wingman's able to respond, trade Rush. Rush was able to catch Irrational out. Wingman's going to trade his life for him. It's a 2v2. However, the two from Vivid Obsidian are very, very healthy, and the two from Ares are not as healthy, and one of them is still pushing in from ramp. It's going to be a slaughter. Wingman and Vizsla take out some eliminations, and Wingman's able to clutch up with those final kills to stay in the fight. Rush does, since he died very early in that initial fight, is able to make it back and deny Vivid Obsidian probably like 10 points of objective. Not the most important elimination of the game, but it is something to note. And the fight for B has already taken place. This is something that I've talked about before at Audenum, so I won't really go into it at much. Sandstorm B and Sandstorm C are two of the most important points in this entire map. It's not close. And so we're already seeing these two teams recognize the threat that Sandstorm B has, especially Vivid Obsidian, who needs to get back in this game. And before the point even flips, they're already having a fight over who's going to have first touch here. Rush is going to find Wingman out towards A. That kill is going to be significant in some sense because it's going to prevent Wingman from being a factor in this fight for at least a few seconds. Hop finds the kill on Safo at the point. However, a lot of his teammates are low. Clix is going to find Irrational. Rush finds Vizsla. Hop's going to try and find the trade against Clix, but he's going to get swiftly taken out by the Deagle. Wingman finally arrives. However, he is a little bit too late to the fight. He was taken out very, very early at the end of A. And the first touch is going to go, at least in some percentage, to Ares here. This is pretty bad here if you're Vivid Obsidian, right? You really, really needed that first push to go well for you to put yourself in a position to win. The game is not over by any means. The game isn't over until Sandstorm C is done. However, having this first defense by Vivid Obsidian would be put yourself in a much, much better position, especially since we've seen in the past few weeks, and if you've watched Crunker Team, the team that they were in the past, for the past few months, Vivid Obsidian is a very good defending team. Once they're able to get a defense up, they excel at holding down sites and extending leads. And that's where their biggest strengths are. And so having those first touches, having those first defenses has historically really benefited Vivid. And so Ares being able to deny that is huge. Unfortunately, Swexy and Rush are very, very far out of this fight. We can see them just hanging out over by long, spawning in. While Vizsla, Irrational, and HopCX are preparing a little bit of a fight here. I believe they're probably still deciding whether they want to take this fight right now. They see Clicks, they see Safo. They don't know exactly where Rush and Swexy are. They have to imagine that they did spawn over here by long, so they probably have a little bit to burn. Right here, the battle plan for these three is to try to find an elimination early. If they can find elimination before these two members get to point, they've put themselves in a very valuable position, especially when Wingman spawns in. And that's exactly what they do. Twice. Vizsla finds Safo, Hop finds Clicks. Huge, right? You have completely removed any threat that has come from Sandstorm B altogether, right? The huge threat with those two members staying on the objective was that Rush and Swexy were going to join them, and you were about to turn that numbers advantage into a numbers disadvantage. However, finding both of those eliminations is absolutely huge, a huge testament to just how personally skilled these players are, being able to take out both both members of the team of Ares before they're really able to respond with anything other than a couple of damage points here on HopCX. Rush and Swexy are going to try and come on in. Rush is going to immediately try to get some bullets out on Vizsla. Vizsla is going to die for it, but take away half the health bar of Rush. It's going to allow even a low HP Hop here to at least try to find some value. Irrational is able to get the one burst in on that very weak target. Swexy still playing very far back here, realizing that the push was probably dead, is just trying to take a little bit of a TDM spot here. Rat just trying to find elimination, deny them point presence. Is going to get caught by Irrational, put a couple bullets in him. Swexy's able to find that kill. However, his position's relayed. Wingman's already looking at him. It's going to go Wingman's way. Great comms right there. This fight is going to be extended because Clicks and Safo are going to arrive. Clicks is able to get behind Wingman, and Clicks has what appears to be a seizure on the mouse, missing crucial shots on a 1 HP Wingman to unfortunately not clutch it up. He's able to find one, not able to find the rest. And finally, for the first time, Vivid Obsidian has a serious hold here in Sandstorm in this last round here. This is the first time that they've really held the site in any sort of significant margin on A or on B. And so now this is Vivid's time to sort of come back from this, settle down, go back to homeostasis, and play the game that they love to play, which is deny the enemy team from even having fun. However, Ares, because all of them died around the same time, do get spawned very close to one another, and they are going to make a very coordinated 4-man push here. Swexy deletes Wingman from the game. I don't know what is a better way of saying this. Even pausing, you can't catch this, how fast that elimination went off. I'm pretty sure he literally just found headshots. Absolutely insane behavior. Absolutely just deleting him. Safo's going to find Wingman to start this off. Hop is going to respond by finding that elimination on Safo. However, because Safo was able to position himself over here by this opening in the wall, it forces Hop to look here instead of here, where the real big threat is. It's going to allow a few crucial bullets to hit the side of Hop's head before he's really able to respond in any sort of meaningful way. Rush is going to find Irrational. This is a big pick, right? Whenever we see mirror comps like this, especially when it's this AK, SMG, LMG core, there's not a whole lot of burst damage within those guns at all. All the burst damage comes from FAMAS. If you're looking for quick kills, the FAMAS is what's going to provide them. And so fighting their FAMAS early is very, very big while your FAMAS stays up, right? FAMAS is what's going to, if not confirm kills, is going to set up the confirmation of kills a lot of the time in these kinds of fights. Immediately going to turn over, but like we said, Hops is going to get shot in the back of the brain because Safo did a very good job of drawing his attention away. Ares wins this fight in fantastic fashion. They get the spawn point. Safo is back in the fight. And now it's just Rush and Clicks just trying to heal back up, trying to put themselves in a position to fight. The push is all coming from short. Irrational finding Clicks to start is huge. That's all of the tankiness that this team had. However, LMGs on the point, if they're not really moving, doesn't get you a whole lot. Obviously, Clicks was trying to build up that movement. We saw that just before we paused. But Irrational is able to find him before he's able to pose any sort of serious threat here. And so the mosquito that flies around your ear is gone, right? Eliminated from the game. Now your next target that you have to find is this FAMAS. If you can find Swexy, you might have some success in this push. Safo's going to find Hop to start. Hop has been pretty hot this entire game so far. finding kill after kill after kill. We see that in the score right here on this 5,000 going 35 and 42, finding very high value eliminations. All the while during this tournament, that's a very important elimination that goes out. Rush chains that out with a kill on Vizsla. However, Wingman and Irrational come through kill after kill after kill, cleaning up this fight. Irrational and Huge, right? We've already talked about the importance of FAMASs in this comp. They are the ones that are going to be doing that huge burst damage, confirming those kills, finding those eliminations, winning you fights. Click's going to be coming in early, hoping that the health bars of Vivid Obsidian are still low. He's going to find a very low health Wingman here and try to pressure him down. However, he is only going to find a couple bullets before he is absolutely punished. This is a very important kill that happened. Finding the LMG before the fight even starts really delays the power that you have as an attacker, right? The LMG is what's going to be doing a lot of the movement, a lot of the bothering. He's going to put in very valuable chip damage to set up your AK, to set up your SMG, to set up your FAMAS. And setting up and killing clicks before Rush even gets halfway to sight is huge. It really delays the amount of pace that Ares is able to bring up and pretty much just isolates Swexy and Safo here, right? And so we're going to see Swexy just turn tail and get the hell out of dodge. While Safo is already in too deep, he's just going to try and salvage what he can from this situation, right? He's able to find Wingman the very low health. He's going to try to chain that into a double kill against Vizsla. It's not going to go his way, unfortunately. However, he is able to get Vizsla incredibly low during this fight. That's huge. Vizsla being this low health technically can set you up for a very early push. However, because Safo dies here so late as well, it's going to be Ares just deciding, hey, we're just going to go new here. We're just going to ignore B. And for a moment there, Vivid had a really good hold there on Sandstorm B. They're still in a pretty bad position. Sandstorm C is by far the most important objective on this map. I can't say that enough. And when you come into Sandstorm C with the lead advantage, all you're doing is you're affording yourself mistakes, right? Sandstorm C is so important that the importance of having a lead going into it is not because you can potentially win the game. It's so you can have more mistakes to make, more failed pushes, more failed defenses, and still have that same chance to win, right? You still have to hold C for a very long period of time. Having control of C is so massive in this area, right? But because you're coming in with this 200-point lead, you're probably afforded a fight to lose here. Vivid doesn't have that ability. Swexy deletes Hop. In a case of where Swexy should have absolutely been caught out by Hop, Hop is going to get caught out by Swexy, one bursting him to the brain. This does not bode well for the push of Vivid Obsidian. Not only did you find the AK, a huge source of consistent damage, but now you know that you have this FAMAS absolutely going to be coming down your tail. Someone on this team has to pay attention to it, but if you're going to pay attention to the threat that's coming down ramp, you cannot pay attention to the triple threat that's coming to you from point. This push is going to be a struggle to win. Vizsla's going to try and make something with it, push aggressively, find Safo. Wingman's going to hug this wall by Vizsla hugging this wall. Vizsla being here denies any sort of value that the opponents on the site are trying to bring, right? It completely blocks you from anything that Clicks and Rush can do without them pushing outside of sight. And so it forces Clicks and Rush to challenge Wingman in a 1v2 and allows Vizsla to challenge Swexy in a very weak 1v1. Neither goes their way. It was a great attempt, especially Vizsla staying on this side of the wall is a great way to sort of isolate this fight, take one threat at a time. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. Really great idea. They were able to find eliminations each, but having that very, very early kill on Hop kind of crushed that push before it started. Very, very incredible elimination from Swexy. Swexy's going to continue on his reign of terror, trying to catch people out by setting up yet another push in market. However, this time he is going to get caught out from the double threat of Irrational and Hop, and now the tables have turned. Not as bad as Vivid was pushing into as 3 into 4, but defending as 3 into 4 as Sandstorm C still isn't a position you want to be in. It's a little bit better than attacking, but I digress. Wingman turns around to help fight that fight. However, he is completely exposed. They're going to know that they're going to be pushing from there. They saw the push coming from market. They saw the elimination coming from market. The cavalry has arrived. They all push as one. Absolute slaughter. Blood is everywhere. Clean it up. Find the janitor. Hop finds Rush. Hop finds Clicks. Wingman finds Safo. It's murder she wrote. Beautiful push. That's the push that Vivid wanted. And it probably was just, it honestly was very doable because they were able to find Swexy so early. If Swexy doesn't go out in TDM, maybe they don't win that push as easily, right? If Swexy's on point, maybe he can contribute to this. However, that push was just so clinical. Maybe it probably didn't matter in the end of the day. The idea to TDM was probably smart, just to find those eliminations before they start. Vivid Obsidian, now sitting on this point, finally find themselves in a position to take a breath. Defending Sandstorm C is where you want to be at when you're down by 400 points now, right? You need to at least win 2 fights here to stay even. Probably a fight and a half, really, if we're being serious with one another. But you want to win this fight as securely as possible. Especially since you've backspawned 3 members of their team. Swexy trying to make something happen is going to play this very slow. I just punched the shit out of my mic. Going to try and find sight lines. Right now, if you can find eliminations, that's nice. However, the main goal that Swexy's trying to find here is just find information, right? And so what he probably is seeing is he's seeing Wingman jump over to this left side, and they might be able to use that information to their advantage as they push into this site right now. It's going to be a 3-1 push, 3 pushing from short, 1 pushing from elbow. Swexy is going to find the first elimination on Wingman, finding the LMG immediately. LMG isn't as big of a threat, in my opinion, here on Sandstorm C, since you won't be moving as much. It's harder to make as big of an impact as you can on other sites. However, finding Wingman early is always huge. Wingman's an animal. Clix is going to be pushing in off of that momentum. His teammate's still hanging back a little bit behind the pace here, but that's okay because it's going to be Rush taking his back. It's going to be the last 2 remembers of Ares just putting in damage from a long range, staying safe. Swexy and Safo. They're going to start pushing in now. Vizsla and Irrational try to fend him off, finding Clix and finding Swexy, but Rush is going to find Vizsla. There's still 2 members of Vivid Obsidian still here on the site, trying to make something happen here. Hop is going to find Rush, trade him out. Safo's going to find Irrational. Safo's very, 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 very low, and Hop is very, 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 very healthy here. Hop is going to immediately take advantage of that, and that's Sandstorm C for you. Sandstorm C is an absolutely brutal push to push into. This push was wonderfully orchestrated, and even with a very early elimination on Wingman, essentially the defender's playing a 3v4 for this fight right here, just because of the way that Vivid posted themselves up with the Rational on the high ground in one corner and Hop on the low ground on one corner. It really forces the members of Ares to do a whole lot of work to find the heads of Vivid Obsidian, to increase the distance between the flicks, to make them play reactionary, to keep them from being as proactive as possible. Very, very great hold by Vivid Obsidian. This is why you want to spread yourself out on wall sites, because that's how you take the true power of the wall site and really hone that in on your defenses. And it's just a clinic put on by Irrational and Hop. Absolutely in the best positions that you could be in this fight. A great defense altogether. And they get the spawn point, and the game's even. For the first time, Ares is lost the lead. Well, I guess they haven't lost the lead yet, but now they have, right? All that work that Ares did on A, all that work that Ares did on B, has all gone in the toilet because they lost 2 fights on C. That is how important Sandstorm C is. It is so critical that you hold C in your competitive games, that you have a plan for C. I cannot stress that enough. It is so easy to force stack. It is so easy to hold. It is so easy to stay active and have high value deaths on Sandstorm C. It's insane. To start this next push, they're going to try this 3-1 attempt again. Clix pushing in from elbow, Safo, Swexy, and Rush pushing in from main. Rush is going to peek on in. He's very, very healthy. They targeted Swexy early, taking around half of his health away. Rush is going to push on in and find a very nice kill on Hop. The fact that he was able to get this close without being punished is crazy. I mean, look at how much distance that he was able to cross in No Man's Land. No Man's Land being this period right here, right? Swexy stays back, and because he's the first one to push, is the one who is going to get targeted first. But Rush makes it all the way to sight almost without getting touched, which is huge. It opens up a big hole here. It's a threat they have to address, which allows the time, which allows the presence for Clix and Safo to push on in, to cycle, and then Rush finds that kill on Hop before he dies. Swexy's going to find the kill on his mirror match, Irrational finding their FAMAS, which bodes bad news for this LMG, because now how are you going to address this LMG threat if you're Vivid Obsidian? You have a very low health wingman who's on the LMG, who's not going to be doing too much damage at all. And you have an SMG, which doesn't do that much damage per bullet, and is not even looking at this LMG, right? Taking out that FAMAS makes this LMG a huge threat. Is going to be, and Clicks is going to use his body like a wrecking ball. Vizsla is going to try and take out these high damage threats, Swexy and Safo. Going to try and prioritize them, but because Clicks was able to get in by the work that Rush was able to do to open up that defense, it's not going to go their way. Clicks absolutely tears through that comp at that point. They're going to get the spawn point. Swexy joins. The lead is back. Both these teams incredibly even. Now trading. Irrational files on in at light speed. No mercy. Just how we talked about Rush making it so far at the point. Irrational makes it onto point, only taking one bullet from what I can only assume is an SMG. In finding 2 kills without dying. Huge value. FAMASs are so important in this match. I cannot stress this enough. Clicks pushes outside of point to try and draw the sightlines away from the attackers, right? If you can push Irrational to look this way, it's going to allow Swexy to have very nice sightlines on Irrational here. However, Irrational is unfortunately not going to fall for the bait. It's going to be a quick kill by Swexy with the wall bang through the floor. Wingman is going to kill his mirror match Clicks. However, it is going to be Swexy against the world. He is on the FAMAS against a half health LMG and a full health AK. They're going to be pushing in as once. Murder She Wrote. Pretty much even going into D here. Yeah, Ares has a 100-point lead. However, at the end of the day, it's not going to be that important because 100-point leads are very achievable to come back from when it comes to Sandstorm D retakes. I talk about a lot how Sandstorm D is a useless point. However, I'm only talking in consideration of if you're winning going into Sandstorm C. D. Sandstorm D is an absolutely terrible site to regain a lead on. If you're losing going into Sandstorm D by even 400 points, you're putting yourselves in a very bad situation. It is still doable. In fact, we saw a comeback of 400 points by Ares in the previous match before this, but it is very, very difficult, right? It is so easy to set up an off-site defense on Sandstorm D, right? Sitting here backside, sitting here behind tree, playing TDM, like finding kills out in market, finding kills over here by long, maybe pushing through tunnel. There's so much active killing that you can do on Sandstorm D that doesn't include sitting on site. That is way more valuable than anything you could do by sitting on site. It's like the polar opposite of Sandstorm C, right? You could technically stand here and get some cover from this box. You could technically stand here and get some cover from this box. But if you stand here, it's covered for like half of a second because they're just going to peek around and find you. And you're completely open to pushes from long. If you stand here, yeah, you block bullets from long, but you're completely open from pushes from backyard. It's not a great position to be in if we're being completely honest. And Vivid is still 100 points down, right? At this level, 100 points down going into D is still a little bit Monka-esque, right? It's still a bit worrying, but it's still very, very doable. Hop is not going to be the first one onto point. He's still very low here. Very smart of him not to just go to just push on the point with no brain. He doesn't have the HP to sort of contend. They know this fight is coming soon. And so he's just going to hold here behind boxes, ready for his team to push together. Wingman is going to get a very fortunate flank. If he was here even a half of a second earlier, he is in front of both Clicks and Rush. However, because he arrived when he does, he is now behind Rush. He is now behind Clicks. I believe it is Vizsla sitting here backside, ready to start pressuring Safo. And so now they have threats at all angles. Swexy is out of this fight. Wingman has very juicy angles on the 2 members pushing in from long. And Hop and Vizsla are going to be setting up a very nice crossfire here on Safo, especially as Irrational arrives. This is a great attacking position to be in if you're Vivid Obsidian. Wingman's going to put some very, very nice damage into Rush. Safo's going to drop faster than you can even say his name. Clicks is going to try and respond to the threat of Vizsla here in back sight, but Vizsla's just going to stay mobile, allowing because Clicks was distracted with Vizsla, it's going to allow Irrational to find the elimination on Clicks. Wayman just putting the hurt on Rush is going to win his ones against him. Vizsla just picking up the last few bullets to pick up the kill. And Vivid Obsidian has the first point. Swexy's going to arrive. Everyone here is relatively low. So it's technically 1v4able. But at this level, he has to play it safe. He has to play it safe. So he's not going to do anything too dangerous besides finding the very low hop CX. KPL is the new weeklies. It's technically a bi-weekly tournament. However, for the next few months, it's weekly. It's kind of weird. The schedule is semi-weekly is how I would describe it. It's the developer-sponsored tournament, for sure. So, to prepare for this next push, Swexy has already done a whole lot of work, right? Finding hop, especially when you're down and when you're even, right? You want to start gaining this lead as fast as possible on D so you can start to play that offsite defense. And taking out hop that early is going to prevent him from stacking on the point, right? Potentially, depending on where hop spawns, denying Vivid Obsidian anywhere from like 40 to 80 points, right? Which very well could be significant in this match. We'll have to see. Wingman and Irrational trying to respond to the Swexy threat. It's going to be Clicks and Rush pushing in immediately through market. It's going to be Safo joining. Irrational, Wingman is going to drop very, very quickly. Hop finally arrives back. Irrational tries to fight this. I think was trying to go for a little back, trying to push off of site with a backwards jump. However, is going to get caught out by Rush. Vizsla is going to find Swexy, but it's going to be Safo finding Hop. Vizsla chains it into a double kill. Vizsla chains it into a triple kill. He can't clutch the quad. So unfortunate. If Vizsla finds that quad, it is absolutely insane. He's already shown that he can play the LMG to great effect here in KPL in addition to his FAMAS. Finding that quad feed would have been a huge point, a huge kill under pressure for Vivid Obsidian to really start cranking that lead up. Unfortunately, doesn't go his way. Vizsla is only one man. He can only do so much in this situation. And Safo was full health. He had his work cut out for him. And unfortunately for Vivid Obsidian, half the members of Ares are going to be on point because Clicks is going to get the spawn right here, which is really bad. If you are even or you're down, pushing into Sandstorm D, the last thing that you want is for your opponents to spawn right here because then they can be active right again. Wingman is going to catch Swexy out, find that elimination. However, Rush is hot on his tail, and now Wingman is going to be getting pinched off by the 3 members of Ares. He's going to try and stay mobile, try to put in some damage, right? Wingman realizes that at this point, it's not about the elims, but fuck it, let's get some anyway. Wingman finds Swexy, Wingman finds Safo. He's able to distract Clicks for long enough for Irrational to come in to pick that kill. All Wingman had to do was find damage, yet he helped for a team triple kill. I don't understand how a person is able to pull that off. Absolutely insane behavior. Rush is going to pick that off, deny any more damage from being done. However, the infantry is arriving. Irrational peeks over. However, Rush is going to find him too with, I believe that was a double headshot, body shot. A very, very quick kill. However, Hop is going to take out Rush, trading him away. Very, very tradey fight. Both teams still even. As you can see, even though Vivid is winning a lot of these fights here, they're not able to stand on point for a long amount of time at all. They're only getting 10 points a second. Ares is still in the lead, right? 35 seconds have passed, and they've sort of held it for maybe 5 seconds, and there's still 40 points in the lead at this time. Clicks is going to swing around to try to flank Hop. Hop is going to start to drop very, very low here. He's going to redirect his attention over to Safo. However, he is going to drop by Swexy's hands, who has just appeared from market. He doesn't see Vizsla and Wingman yet. As we can see, Vizsla and Wingman playing very, very nice positions here to deny any sort of value from anyone pushing from backyard. Vizsla playing very forward on the ledge here of sight. Wingman playing over by tree. Trying to get rid of this threat over by long, right? Trying to isolate this fight. Trying to pick them off individually. Trying to take their fight separate. To divide and conquer in a way. Swexy's going to try and play this slow, but that is what this defense that Wingman and Vizsla have punishes, is that sort of slow play. It allows Wingman to know that there is a threat there. He's going to peek around, try to get some bullets down range. He didn't expect that Rush was going to be there too. Takes him out immediately. It's still Vizsla left on point. He's going to find 1 kill. Can he do it? No, he's going to get taken out by Swexy. A whole lot of trading. The lead grows ever larger here for Ares. It's a 50-point lead now. He's going to peek around, but Hop immediately takes him out just as quick as that. And fortunately for Vivid, they get very close spawning over by C, whereas Clicks and Rush are going to be spawning over by long. This allows Hop to get very valuable information for his team. Because the sightline of long is so long, right? He's able to see them from an incredible distance away. Let his team know that that's where a double threat is coming from. And now that Irrational and Wingman are here, the cavalry has arrived. They're able to take at least some threat away from this. Meanwhile, Vizsla and Seyfo are 1v1ing over by C. It's going to go Seyfo's way, but he is going to take severe hurting from it. Right? He's going to get dropped down to around 20% HP. Hop is going to be hiding around this box while Rational and Wingman arrive. Rush swings around. All three members of Vivid Obsidian were more preoccupied with clicks. They were able to take him out. Very fortunate. However, because they were all three focusing that one member, it's going to allow Rush for a very easy kill on Hop. He's going to try and take out Irrational. However, the combined firepower of the LMG and the Floss is a little bit too much. He's only able to find a little bit of damage before he dies. Vivid's in the lead by 10 points with 8 seconds remaining. It is still anyone's game. Seyfo is here. Seyfo has the SMG. He's looking at a very weak FAMAS and a full health LMG. It's not the position you want to be in, but this is by no means unwinnable. He's going to swing around and die with 7 seconds left. It's at this point where I would say that the game was probably over. If Seyfo's able to find even the kill on Irrational, maybe this game looks different. However, because he's not able to find either of them, unfortunately, they're still going to be gaining 20 points per second. Excuse me, 20 points per second and a half in these last 7 seconds. Swexy's going to try and make a threat happen over here by Market push in early. He's going to try to make something happen here. Wingman's going to just still hold it down. He's very, very hurt right now, but he's bought enough time for Vizsla to arrive. Swexy finds Irrational. Swexy finds Wingman, but that was the attack that needed to happen 1 second earlier. 1 second later, Vizsla's here to take you off of sight. Now they're getting points, 10 points at a time. They're 80 points behind. It's impossible for you to come back from this. Vivid Obsidian wins KPL 7 again in the closest fashion we've seen them yet. Aries putting up an incredible fight all the way until the end, winning until the last 7 seconds of this match, right? Let's be clear. They're still winning here, right? It is only here where they start to lose. It is within that 10-second mark where Vivid Obsidian flips over the win. It's incredible, right? Maybe if Rush finds Irrational here, we're looking at a different game. Maybe if Rush targets Wingman here to lower him to set up Seyfo for a double kill, maybe we're looking at a different game. Maybe if Seyfo finds Irrational, maybe he denies some points, maybe is able to set up and spare some time for Swexy to arrive. Maybe Swexy wins his 1v2 against Vizsla and Wingman. Who knows? Krunker is a game of milliseconds. It's a game of the edge where you can be on one side or the other, and the thing that separates you could be a hair. This was an incredibly close match by two incredibly skilled teams. I wish I could have casted this. These two teams were a blast to cast. All very, very talented members. Vivid Obsidian wins KPL 7, continues their reign of terror until next week. Yeah, and that's about it.